Welcome back. We will be looking at a new chapter, chapter number 11, which is non financial performance indicators. Just a quick word on this block. I said that chapter 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, it's all, one major area. And what we are looking at here in chapter number 11 is actually the non financial performance indicators in the context of having looked at purely financial performance for the past, especially chapter 8 and 9. So, in chapter 8, we looked at financial performance in a profit seeking organization holistically. Chapter 9, we looked at financial performance measurement in a divisional environment across the divisions and what kind of interdivisional transactions that happen, transfer pricing and whatnot. In chapter 10, we looked at not for profit organizations. How do we actually solve the problems and challenges we face when we are trying to measure performance and assess performance and manage performance in the NFP sector? Now, in chapter 11, we are looking at non financial performance. Okay. So, um, with that context, the first thing that we have to understand is why. Why are non financial performance measures important? That is because when you, and this is what traditionally happened, when you look at financial performance alone, there are significant issues that crop up as time passes by. So if you're running a company and if you're only focused on the money, if you're only focused on the monetary aspect, if you're only measuring the financial ratios, and if you're deciding everything based on the financial ratio performance, this is not going to bode well in time, because that really narrows your perspective on how the world works. So what exactly, or can we specifically understand what kind of problems and issues generally come up when we only use, or when we solely use or rely on financial performance measures? It can make us extremely short termist, because financial performance measures are pretty short term, right? You don't necessarily, unlike otherwise, you have measures like NPV and IRR. Your bulk of 99% of all the financial ratios you have, the maximum time duration is 1 year, beyond which you add more control. And nowadays with technology, we have this real time view and current version of things, and therefore all the metrics are quite up to date and quite up close and personal. So quite high level of short termism is encouraged by financial performance um, measures. The other is internal focus, because financial performance is looked at or developed by the use of internal financial figures, right? Your historical performance. So not only it is internal focused, this third point that you see on the screen, backward looking. So by looking at your internal business and your historical performance, you're limiting yourself, and the kind of, with the modern dynamics in the world, with how fast the world changes, you never experience the situation of yesterday, you don't really experience it tomorrow. So things are rapidly changing. So whether, even if your performance works good, you never know whether it will be relevant and whether that will work tomorrow. And even if your performance was bad, maybe you're a couple of steps ahead, that tomorrow the world will catch up to you and your performance will rise. So it's really this disconnect that can occur if you're only focused on financial performance. And the other thing is that financial performance means you're only looking at one aspect. Performance doesn't necessarily mean financial alone. There's non-financial performance as well. So isn't it fair? Isn't it the right thing to look at both aspects? So if you only look at financial performance, you're only looking at half or even less than that of the picture. Manipulation of results. So this is the biggest concern with financial performance, and this is what the world has been exposed to the most since the 1920s, since the Great Depression. We've seen time and time again: 1920s, Second World War, post Second World War, Industrial Revolution, 1979, the 1980s depression, the 2008 financial crisis. Continuously, companies and the world and economic systems and countries have been plagued by this particular weakness, where financial performance is manipulated, where financial performance is tweaked by making specific changes to it by various interested parties with different motivations. This is one of the biggest issues of using purely financial performance. So in summary, It promotes short-termism, internally focused manipulation of results can happen, doesn't convey the whole picture, and backward looking. Therefore, our solution is that when we try to assess performance, when we try to manage performance, we don't only rely on financial performance. We don't only look at the financial performance metrics. What we do is we go beyond that and we look at financial performance and non financial performance indicators to assess the performance of the company. And that is how we understand this need, this very fundamental and important need that we have for the looking at financial and non-financial performance indicators. That is how this chapter or the reason for looking at this chapter is justified. Thank you and good luck.